Hi, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Something Else podcast. My name is Gabriella, of course, and I am Coco. And today we're talking about situationships, dating in college, all of that. But of course, before we get into that, it's time. So, it's our affirmation of the week. Do you want to pull the card? Oh, that's the one from last time. We're gonna put her to the bottom. Okay.
So mine says, the more I focus my mind on the good in my life, the more good comes into my life. Can we get a hallelujah?
Hallelujah.
Okay.
That's a big
Focus
one.
on the good.
Yeah, because if you focus on everything else, you're gonna see fires. You're gonna see lions.
Go downhill.
You're gonna see tigers and bears, honey.
Focus on the good.
So, situationships are a really interesting topic to talk about because I feel like almost anybody can relate to that. Like, whether you want to or not, I feel like almost anybody can relate to being in a situationship, whether it was voluntary or involuntary. But have you ever been in a situationship?
Ooh, child. Girl. So guys, I went to FAMU, and that should probably tell you all that you need to know about situationships. Girl, ain't no love on the hill. There's not an ounce of love on the hill.
There's not.
And oh my gosh, it's crazy. Like,
I can only imagine. Like,
just imagine, like, talking to a guy, like these guys are on a whole different level. Like, they'll take you on dates, they'll do boyfriend stuff, and then when you're like, okay, what are we? They're like, what do you mean? What are we?
Listen, if you have to ask,
tomatoes. If you gotta ask, really,
if you want to ask someone, what are we? Where do we stand? Let me tell you, you stand alone. You stand by yourself. You're one lone ranger.
No, seriously.
What are we at?
No,
you know
seriously.
the answer. Like, the answer is very clear.
If you're dating somebody for 6 months, 5 months, he doesn't want you, sis.
I'm so
You're
sorry.
a placeholder.
I'm sorry. And I think that can go for guys and girls.
Yes,
because
of course.
sometimes you're just keeping the place warm for somebody else. I'm sorry to tell you.
Or, they still have their eyes on their ex or somebody that they've dealt with previously in the past. And, they're waiting on that person. So, while I'm waiting for this person, I might as well just entertain, keep the seat warm until she's ready, or, whenever they're ready to commit, or whenever I can get that person back. Maybe they're still trying to get that person back. So it's so scandalous out here, and it's literally so scary when it comes to dating people. Like, you literally have to not get so attached and so pulled in because heartbreak. You will be heartbroken.
Like, it's bad. Like,
you
honestly,
will be so disappointed.
And I see so many good individuals like doing things for their girl or doing things for their guy, just to realize that it's not you. It's not you. And I'm so sorry to tell you, it's not you. Oh, well, if you feel like you have to coach somebody or be like, oh, why don't you send me a good morning text, or why don't you do this? It's not you.
Don't be that girl. Don't be that guy.
And it's not you. It's so not
degrading.
you. Don't beg. Don't keep asking. Because guess what? When you fail to realize that you are not the one, you will be in a place that you're just out of it.
And I think people know that they're not the one.
I think so too.
You definitely know when somebody has you on the back burner, or when they're not invested in you, like, completely.
Yeah.
Like, it just goes to inconsistency. Ghosting is a major thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people will just ghost you, and whole time they're dealing with somebody else.
Yeah.
And it's just unacceptable. I feel like we're way too accepting of things, and that's why we end up in these situations, because it's like the red flags are there.
Yeah.
The signs are there.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, stop. But you just still want to keep, seeing where it'll possibly go,
I always say, like, a red flag will only catch on fire it's gonna
No,
catch
that's
on
fact.
fire. And
That
when
is
it
fact.
catches on fire, you don't have a fire extinguisher. You're not a firefighter. You have no formal training. You're screwed. I'm so sorry to like honestly, and the only reason I hate to put myself out there.
No.
But the only reason I get so passionate about this is because I've had my fair share.
We've all had our fair
You-
share.
Yes.
We've all, there's no shame in the game. As long as you recognize it and you move forward, and you don't allow the same cycle to continue to happen, the same feeling of just being degraded and feeling used and abused and girl, all the above. Literally, like, just move forward. Literally, and
it's not easy.
try not to make it happen again.
It's not easy.
Especially when you're invested, you're so invested into the person, and you can't even get upset because they're not yours. It's not your man.
Listen.
It's not your man. So you can't even really be upset. I think that's the worst thing, when you want to act out and you want to question where you're at, who you've been with, and you really can't, because the person doesn't really. It's not your man.
It's not your man, or if you're a guy, it's not your girl. Like, just take it for what it is. If you're
That's
someone,
all it is.
if you're someone who wants to be in a relationship, you have to make your intentions clear.
Very
from
clear
the start,
from the beginning.
and never assume that someone is going to tell you the truth. Because one thing I will say this is, when sometimes you don't ask people questions, they don't feel like they owe you any kind of honesty, any kind of description, any answers. So it's nice to ask questions. And when someone starts avoiding the answers to the questions, you have your answer
when
right there.
That's when
You
you
have
know.
your answer right there.
That is exactly when you know.
I feel like if you have to be like, oh, why don't you do this, or
Why don't you take me on dates?
listen,
Don't be that girl.
if he
Don't
ain't
be that
taking you
girl.
out on dates, you're not the one, because he's gonna be in Vegas with another girl next week. So I'm gonna tell you
Not
that
Vegas.
you're going to Vegas, Sin City. Whatever happens in Vegas, it ain't
I'm
staying.
screaming.
So you just have to know what you want to do.
Yeah, no, seriously. Y'all be safe out here.
You be safe. Wear your life jacket and your bulletproof vest, because it's not. This isn't a fair man's game.
No, seriously. And you know what? As far as situationships, I'm done with those.
Yeah, no.
At
Those
this
aren't
big age,
serving.
done.
Those aren't serving.
Very much done. I'm not waiting for you. I'm not Future. Nowhere on my Timbs.
And it's a good song. It's a good song.
Not
Every
waiting
time
for you.
I will wait for it. I'll sing it. But no, we're
It's
not
a no
waiting.
for me. It's a
We're
no.
not waiting, because it's just not the vibes. And sometimes for people, I can't even say that everybody wants. Some people are okay with the situationship.
They're comfortable.
And if that's for you, that's okay. But if you're not, what you trying to do? What you trying to do? What you trying to do? Because it's just something where you have to really realize that sometimes you deserve better.
You know what's crazy? It really be the older men. I'm speaking for the women, but it really be the older men that be trying to pull that card. Like the men in their 30s.
Listen,
You ever peep that? Like
I will say this.
late 20s.
I'm gonna say so. Not all guys. There's some that are
There's some
really
decent guys
There's
out
some
there.
really
Don't
stand
get
up
me
guys.
wrong. We're not bitter. We're not bitter.
There's some really stand up guys, but I have noticed that people who are a little bit in that older class, oh, I'm not looking for anything serious.
They prey on young girls.
That's what that is. Because you're looking for someone young to be in a
They
situation
think
with,
we're so
and then
naive.
you're gonna date someone who's your age to be in a relationship with. It ain't adding up, Bill Nye. What's his name? Bill Nye.
Bill Nye, the science
It ain't
guy.
adding up. The science isn't sciencing, and the math ain't mathing. So I'm trying to figure out.
They think we're so naive,
What happened?
and they feel like we won't hold them to a standard, versus somebody in their actual age group. That's what it is.
And that's the word. That I feel like there's some great guys out there. There's some good girls out there. Whoever's
But Lord, is this all that I have? Lord, is these the men? Is these
Not
the
the
men
men's.
that you sent to hunt and gather? Are these the men that we're left with? Men that can't even change tires, can't even do an oil change? Like, are these the men?
Debatable.
These men want to be chased. These men want to be adored. And there's nothing wrong with being, wanting attention from whoever you're dating. But these men, they just love the attention. They love, I don't know, it's giving zesty.
Zesty.
It's giving a little, yeah.
And no offense to anybody who's
no offense.
Please subscribe to the podcast. But
seriously, it's giving very much feminine energy. Like, these men are so zesty. They love to argue. They're so confrontational. And I'm the type of person, I don't like confrontation.
Yeah,
I try to avoid it. I'm such a peaceful person. And, I've always been around men that just love to argue. Like, they love that drama. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, what is with you?
This is a very different society. This is a very different society. It's very polarized, and there's so many attitudes and personalities.
Girl,
and I've seen it. Listen, I love you. Please subscribe to the podcast. And I'm gonna be the advocate for y'all. With men and women, I've seen both aggressive and very toxic attitudes.
Yes.
And let me get
they're used to.
Let me just say this. I was going to say something, I forgot it. Let me just say this. Nobody's perfect.
We know.
Nobody's perfect. But some of the selections that I've seen, from my point of view, very, very hard to deal with. Very hard to deal with.
Love the drama.
Very hard to deal with.
It has to be about them. They want to be the it girl.
Not the it girl.
There
can only be one.
There's only one it girl in the dynamic, and it's
relationship.
They love the attention. If it's not about them, don't care. Don't want to hear it.
Don't care. I can see that.
It comes from men that have like this narcissistic kind of demeanor. Like, it just always has to be about them. They're super selfish, not willing to bend backwards for anybody else, but want people to bend backwards for them. It just has to be about them. I've had friends who have dated men that have had like narcissistic disorders and stuff like that, and when it would come to their birthdays and things that they were celebrating for themselves, they would literally rain on their parade, like make the birthday the worst day ever. But when it's their birthday, or when it's something that they're celebrating, it's all sunshine and rainbows.
Really scary.
Girl, these men are scary.
That's really scary.
Y'all, I have experienced some crazy stuff that I probably won't put out there. But,
I can only imagine in college it's worse.
Girl, the men that look so prim and proper, so they look so down to earth, they're dressed up in their suits and their ties, they look so spiffy. Then the men, watch out for those. The ones that perceive themselves to be so good looking on the outside, they'll be the ones.
I can definitely see that, and that goes for women too. Because in the eyes of some of these guys that look for some of these women, oh, she got this bad, did it.
Oh yeah, they looking for the girls that got it together. They looking for the girls with
perfume on crack.
They looking for the girls that wear the Chanel perfume. They looking for the girls that look decent, and they want to literally turn that person's world upside down. Like, I've met some evil men. Like, there's something sinister about you. Literally, sinister. Like, I'm scared. Like, if I told them, and
I have, okay.
So
do you think that more of those personalities are in college than in just general the dating pool?
I think it's in the dating pool, and so I think it just so happened to be one of my experiences.
Mm-hmm.
But it depends on how you're looking at it. Like, because granted, there is a lot of immaturity in college. There are men.
That's like maybe
you're thinking that everybody's age group is from 18 to like 23 or 24.
Mm-hmm.
But granted, there are old ass men Okay, let me not say that. Let me take that back. But granted, there are older men, you know, in school still. You know, people have situations.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people have went to the services like the Army or the Navy, and they decide to do undergrad. And you know, you're in classes with like 30-year-olds, 35-year-olds, and they're still on the scene. They're still on the college scene. They're still at all the parties and stuff. But it also ties into the real world as well, because I know y'all been to the club, like a club full of like 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds, and then you see that one grandpa that sticks out, you know, that one 60-year-old.
Not the grandpa.
So I would say both.
That's
I would say
really
both.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
At a certain point, the club is
You
not
gotta
for
hang it
you.
up. You gotta hang it up.
Listen.
You can't even keep up with the crowd.
Stop it.
Sit down.
No.
Where's your grandchildren?
That's a little bit. Oh my god, I had a horrible experience one time when I went. My friend, he raps, and I went to one of his shows, and there was this guy, old enough to be my dad, old enough to be my kids'
Sound like
friend.
my damn daddy.
I don't have no kids, but you know, old enough to be somebody's grandpa, like trying to offer me a drink and trying to force the drink on me. I'm scared.
It's giving like,
I'm
did you put
scared.
something in the drink?
I'm scared. Like I actually left the event because it was just too much for me.
Yeah.
I
They
was
can
like-
be very forceful.
I was like,
Very forceful.
at this point, we have to stop this.
Yeah, it's very true. Because I also have an incident where I went out probably like 2 years ago, and there was a guy trying to offer me a drink. Of course, he was older, but it was literally like he was forcing the drink down my throat. And it wasn't like we were at the bar and he was like, hey, get her a drink. Literally, he already had the drink, and he was just like, here, I got a drink for you. I'm like, I don't want it. He's like, take the drink. I'm like, I don't want it. Like, and he's getting upset because I don't want to take the drink. It's giving date rape. That's what it's giving. Very nasty.
Dating is so different now than it was before. I feel like sometimes dating can be so aggressive now. Like, wait, hold on a second. Give me some time. Like, I understand. Like, let's take it slow. Like, what's the rush? Because
Coming over or what?
wait a minute, I just met you and I'm at your house.
So are you coming or what?
That's, you know what? Let me talk about that too.
Please.
Because with dating, I've noticed with some guys, and this is a very big disclaimer, for people who are like, oh, come over, and you're just meeting someone, you have robbed me tattooed on your forehead. You have robbed me. That's
you
really
mess around
scary.
and messing with me, all your furniture will be gone.
That's really scary.
No, I'm joking, guys. I'm joking.
Like, that's really scary. That really
You don't just want anybody in your house.
that makes me so afraid. Because, like, wait a second, why am I over here
You
already?
want some stuff that bad?
It
You're
should,
itching for it.
it
literally.
should never be that serious. Like, you first link come over?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and
That's nasty.
maybe it's a little different because if you're watching the Something Else podcast from another state, I'm based in Florida. But it's like down here where we live in South Florida, the culture is a little bit different
It
than
is.
I would say in other places.
Definitely.
Like in the news, you can find a bunch of articles where guys have had girls come back to the penthouse thinking, and they wake up in the Pateks and the Rollies and
Gone.
the Richard Millies.
Gone.
It's that big ass
Not
pawn shop.
excusing, stealing, but
Of course not.
you brought that on yourself.
Like, come on now. Come
you
on
know,
now.
like you got somebody that you don't know in your house, all for some fun, some 10-second fun.
Not 10 seconds.
I'm not here for it.
That's like really scary.
Yeah, that is very scary, and that tells you all you need to know about that person. You nasty. I won't even want you near me.
That's really and where we live, why you want to just give it up so easily? Like the STD rate,
Oh.
HIV rate is crazy.
Oh, is it?
Monkeypox? What you want to be walking around with the bump bumps?
That's
Like
nasty.
that's really scary.
That is nasty. What I do, like when I date guys and I feel like we're about to take that next step, I always say, hey, let's get tested together. And if they take offense to it, I'm like, oh yeah, you're done for. And I've had guys like take offense to that, like get tested. Yeah, get
What you
tested. What do you mean?
When was your last physical, by the way?
Right.
When was the last one? Because if you talking about that one that you had in elementary, I'm scared. When was the last physical?
It was during field day for them.
And that goes for health is not based off of gender, sex, whatever. That goes for guys and girls.
Especially if you know you're sexually active. Whether you're using a condom or not, you definitely want to always make sure that you're getting tested on the regular. Especially if you know you popping your stuff. Definitely. Like, why would you not want to know what's going on? Like, I would never understand.
I got nothing. Oh, okay. Alrighty now. And when you start itching,
babe, herpes, they found this new strain of herpes that takes a few months to actually formulate.
That's
so you can
crazy.
have it and you don't even know
about that.
No, seriously. You can have something and you won't even know. You won't feel any symptoms. Like stuff like chlamydia, gonorrhea, and stuff like that. Sometimes people don't even have symptoms. A lot of these men don't really get the symptoms right away. You know, it's really us women that'll start feeling symptoms. But, you know, he might have it and he's not itching or he's not burning, but you're still having intercourse with him and he doesn't think he has anything. But, you know, you got it. Now, both of y'all got the itch, but, you know, yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's nasty. It gets really nasty.
Oh, my God. That's
it's gross.
Oh, my God. I remember when you were in school and they used to, like, towards the end of the school year, they would talk about sex ed, and then when they would show those pictures and all of and it's just like, as you grow older, you realize how common it is for people to have stuff.
Very common.
Especially people who are, you know, serial daters and
it's very, very, very common.
You're gonna come across that.
Yeah.
I think with me, like, me personally, I'm out of the dating game for a little bit. I'm done. I'm gonna hang it up. I think that me personally, based off past decisions that I've made, I think it's me season. So it's just time to just do me. Like, dating is like something that I feel like you do in, like, is it a sprints? Like, you go for a little bit, you break, and if you could run a marathon dating, more kudos to you and God bless you, because dating nowadays for men, women, it's just
me personally, I don't mind dating because dating does not have to be sexual.
It doesn't.
You know? For me, if I'm dating you, 9 times out of 10, if it's like just on a passive kind of thing, we're definitely not having sex. And so I encourage girls to date more than one guy. Mm-hmm. You know, get to know more than one guy. Date them all, sis. By all means, date them all.
Why I gotta,
you know, but be smart. Don't be a, you know, I don't want to say it, but
a strumpet. That's a nicer word.
But date them all, and you know, like, who cares? Like, men date so many women at the same time, and you know, men. Nobody ever comes at certain men. Let me say that. Men, like, people don't come at men for like dating more than one girl, but you know, when women want to date more than one guy, it's like, oh.
And let me clear this up.
You don't have to be having sex with them.
Since you say that, you cannot date people if you are in a relationship. That's called cheating. So I need to clear that up, because it seems to me like there's a disconnection with the outlet to the plug of what it means. Unless you have discussed with your partner that
it's okay.
You guys are going to have an open
relationship.
I don't condone, but let's just clarify that, because there seems to be like, it isn't cheating if it's cheating unless you guys have discussed that prior to. And I don't want to hear, we're on and off, and I don't want to hear that. I'm sorry. It's either you're on or you're off completely.
It's so crazy that you mentioned relationships though, because you know, for some men, it seems that when you're dating them, it's like they want you to only just be dating them. They haven't popped the question. They haven't initiated, like, you know, to have anything long term. But the minute they find out that you're dating other people, they want to be mad. They want to be upset.
I've seen that.
It's like you haven't busted a move. You're not applying pressure, quote unquote. You're not doing what you need to do to allow this person to know that you want them, you know, and you're still playing the field at the same time, and you still have the audacity to
playing the field,
get upset because your main HOE
The main is a
The
main.
main HOE is not your main HOE because she's dating too. I just want to say that.
Playing the field.
It's horrible.
Some people are the quarterback, the linebacker, the cornerback,
so
the wide
backwards,
receiver,
like,
all the positions.
It's so backwards to me. Like, I will never understand that. Like, it's like, that's so selfish.
That is. But I think that for some people, that's their mindset. They feel like if you're talking to them, me personally, if you're talking to me, I would prefer you not talk to anybody else. I feel like that's a little
You
bit
have
of
to establish that.
You have to establish that.
Yeah.
And some people, they don't want to establish. That's why it's important to ask questions. Get to know the person that you're potentially interested in. Because honestly, some people just don't have the love to give. He may not have to give to you, but he'll give it to somebody else.
Somebody else.
And that's okay. You just have to find a person who wants to
You're not the one. You're just not the one.
Exactly.
Take it to the head and move on.
That's it. Do what you gotta do, and just for my guys out there, I'm gonna talk to y'all now. Value yourself. Value yourself.
Okay, Pastor.
Value yourself, sir. Value yourself. You guys are valuable. You guys are wonderful people. Even though this podcast was very, from our perspective, there's some great, amazing guys out there, and I pray that the good guys, that God will preserve you, because somewhere deep down in the earth's crust, y'all are hiding. So I pray He will preserve you.
Please, because y'all are like needles in a haystack right now.
Yeah. And the hay is in my eyes, is in my ears, in my throat.
Can't find you.
I got a cough. So it's like really one of those things.
Yeah, no, dating is something else. It's, you know what it is for me too? Some guys that refuse to take girls on dates because for some reason, whatever reason, they feel like if they take a girl out on a date, they're being tricked, or it's called tricking or simping. And honestly, I just feel like dating, like when you say dating or taking somebody out on a date, it doesn't have to mean taking them out to the fanciest steakhouse. Literally, it's just time. Like, just taking somebody out.
And getting to know the person.
And getting to know the person. Like, that is freaking courting 101. Like, that's the basics. And if you can't even provide that, then,
maybe you shouldn't be dating.
Tricking, like, I'm looking at some men like, what do you have for it to be called tricking? Listen, I'm looking at him like,
I've heard it all. And listen, for me, like, I am not that hungry. I'm sorry. I am not that hungry that I'm gonna go waste my time with you. Like, if I want to go on a date, I'm like actually interested. There's some people that go out on dates, just to do something and get out the house. And if you do that, girl, go live it up. Sir, go live it up.
We're dating with purpose here.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm not, like, I love the city girls. Carisha, if you see this, JT, if you see this, come on the show. But I'm not one of them. Sorry.
Screaming.
I'm so sorry. I love
one of your best or worst dates.
Oh, girl.
Oh, no, not oh, girl.
Let me see. I can't even answer that question. I can't even answer that question. Because, you know what? But I can't even answer that question. Because, I was a little bit confused because it's the middle of the day and people like, oh, I'll be over there in 30 minutes. Wait a second. The date isn't even over and you're leaving me already?
Oh, I'm screaming.
Wait a second. That wasn't the worst one, but that kind of stuff, it threw me off because I was like, okay, we're spending good time together, and people are already like, oh, I'm gonna be over there in 30 minutes, and I'm just like, we ain't even get something to eat.
He wasn't.
So what's going on here?
He wasn't the one.
What was yours?
My best or my worst?
We're gonna do the best one since I gave my little sad story.
So my best date was when. I think I wouldn't say like best, but I really enjoyed it because the person actually like put thought into, really getting to know me. We went candle making.
Oh, that's nice.
It was really, really cute. And so what we did was I made a candle for him based off what I thought he would like. And he made a candle for me based off what he thought I would like. Because, I like floral, sweet scents and stuff. And so it was really fun, because like when I got the candle that he made for me, it was like, oh wow, like how did you know I like this? Like, it was just so cute.
Oh, that's nice.
And then we went wine tasting, and you know, like the place, it had like berries and stuff. We like picked berries. It was really cute. Like, I've never done anything like that before. And then another date that I really, really liked was when I went to play tennis with this person. And like, I learned how to play tennis. But I went to play tennis and I learned. And honestly, like, it was something like new, you know. We didn't spend any money, but it was like the experience in itself. Like, now when I think of tennis, I'm gonna think of that person, you know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like,
my gosh, I love that.
it's the thought.
Memories.
It's memories. Like, you don't I mean, I'm not saying anything about dinner dates, but you know, just put thought into it, and like, a girl will never forget, literally.
Oh my gosh, we love meaningful memories,
meaningful stuff,
meaningful dates. Like, and this is not to say there aren't great partners out there, regardless of whatever age, creed you are. Just take your time. You know what you deserve. As a man, as a woman, like, love yourself. I'm gonna say this, and I said this in one of my other episodes. Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. Because when you truly love yourself, I feel like relationships are much more easy, because then the person does not have to compensate for what you don't have. Mm-hmm. And say this one last thing. I feel like with some men, like, they don't practice enough self-love. And because there's not enough self-love being practiced, the insufficiency is being leaked onto their partner. Oh, that goes for women too. That actually goes for both sexes. Yeah. Because it's just, you just need to know you first.
Yeah.
And then things will fall into place.
Absolutely. And also, people who are putting their childhood traumas, they build up with it and they grow up with it, and then they get into these relationships and they're literally projecting, like you said, projecting onto the next person. And I feel like a situation like that can be so draining. So y'all, go to therapy if you need to. I went to therapy. I'm still going. I just can't afford it right now, but I'm going. And literally, like, therapy will change your life. I'm so sick of people like saying, you know, I can't go to therapy. There's no need for me to go to therapy, because what can a person that I don't know, you know, how can they help me with my situation? But it helps, y'all. Like, it helps. Like, it helps so much, and it allows you to see certain things that you probably wouldn't see for yourself. You're probably lost in your own delusion, and somebody else that you don't know can point it out for you. So, see? So we love therapy here.
We giving it to you for free. So, of course, you know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. You know where to find us at all our socials at the Something Else Podcast. Would you like to share your socials?
Oh, so guys, my Instagram is __COCOAB, Coco B. So __COCOAB. And follow me. I'll follow y'all back. Thank you for tuning in.
Guys, have a great one and stay safe and healthy.
Oh, and guys, follow my food page at Bad Girls Eat. Thank you. On Instagram.
We'll be linking.
Yeah, we'll be linking. Sorry.
Bye.
Bye.